Tshwane taxi industry says it's determined to put the brakes on crime. Taxi drivers in the city paraded through the CBD, calling for an end to robberies and the killing of drivers. In the last few months, commuters in the area have also fallen victim to robberies. We're joined now by Newzroom Afrika reporter Tshegohaco Moagi. Tshegohaco, good afternoon to you. You were there today. What kind of protest did you see?
Good afternoon, Stephen. So today it was really just a motorcade. They drove through into the CBD, going to various areas that they are saying are hotspots of crime in the Tshwane area. So they started off in the CBD, they went through into Roslyn, they went to Wonder Park, so this is obviously Pretoria North side now, and they ended off this in Tshegohaco. So they are saying really that, you know, they are quite upset at what has been taking place. People are getting robbed while the taxi is in transit, and they are also warning their drivers that if they are involved, that they must just be careful. But the big message that they really sent out with this kind of motorcade and protest, they were saying this is just a warning to those criminals to say to them, we see you, we see what you're doing, but they are saying that if they catch these criminals, they will definitely hand them over to the police. They can't promise what state they will be in, but they will be handed over to the police.
They can't promise what state they'll in when they're handed over to the police. Wow, okay, I think that message comes through pretty clearly. Are they talking about a specific organized group? I mean, certain parts of Mabopane have groups called Boko Haram, for example, which is really a protection racket. Are they directing this at a particular group or crime in general?
Just crime in general. I think their biggest concern is the integrity of the taxi industry. When we spoke to Santaco's regional spokesperson, McDonald Mataka, he really is just saying that, you know, the taxi industry has always been seen as a place where people can go for refuge. So if they're feeling uncomfortable or unsafe, people would often run to the taxi rank and there'd be a bit more safety for them there. But now they can't even do that. So they're really just targeting crime in general. They are saying that they have seen how people get robbed just before they're about to get onto the taxi. Some people get robbed while in the taxi. And of course then the issue of their taxi drivers also being targeted and being killed. But they are very concerned about certain specific areas, Pretoria North being one of them, Mamelodi being another. And they're saying that they will be going into Mamelodi on Thursday, just to also send that warning out to the criminals there to say, we are seeing that what you are doing, we are realizing that you are targeting the taxi industry now to try and make money, but they are saying that this will not happen under their watch.
Any particular reason why they're targeting the taxi industry? And the first that comes to mind is it's still largely a cash business.
Absolutely, that is the biggest reason. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, you'd either need to go to an ATM to withdraw your money and then go into the taxi, and that is the biggest reason at the moment. A lot of people's cell phones being taken, cash being taken. I mean, the spokesperson for Santaco in the Tshwane region really saying that people are being targeted. A person goes to the ATM and suddenly they get into the taxi and then there's a gun to their head to say, give us all that money. And that's when they're also realizing that there's a possibility that their drivers could also be involved. So the same message that they've sent out to the criminals is the same message that they're sending out to their drivers, that they need to either bring an end to it, but if they get caught, that they will definitely hand them over to the police.
And the police, were they part of the protest? I mean, were they monitoring it? I mean, relationships between the police and taxi drivers are immensely complicated. Sometimes police officers own taxis are not supposed to.
Absolutely.
Were they a part of it?
So they were there. The police were there. Not a very heavy police presence, but there were some police officers that were there, including TMPD and the South African Police Service. So they worked together with the taxi industry today to ensure that this motorcade moves along quite smoothly. They obviously then blocked certain roads as we were driving along, just to ensure that that nothing goes wrong with this particular motorcade. They were, however, not in their taxis. So they were in the private cars, but the ones that are obviously branded with the various associations that one is from. They have also said, the police have said to Santaco and to the National Taxi Alliance that they are getting more and more reports of people actually saying that they have been robbed in a taxi or they were robbed on their way to the taxi rank. And that is the big concern. So this is why then the police decided that they will join forces to ensure that the message is clear, that people need to stop this criminal activity. And the big reason is that they can't nail the perpetrators. They can't say this is the person who actually did it, because it's a moving taxi. Suddenly the gun is on your head and then the person gets the money, then says they'd like to then jump off the taxi. So they never quite catch the suspects. But the taxi industry is saying that they are determined to do the work that the police are supposed to be doing, to nab these suspects and immediately send them through to the police cells.
Tshegohaco Moagi, thanks very much indeed. Do appreciate it.